Hello everyone, this is Kestrel Tutorial, and where I am this past week and this weekend it has been freezing. With wind chill it's been below 0 degrees, and there's easily 6 to 8 inches of snow outside. Now, yesterday, which was Monday, the 21st of January, Monday, was Discovery Day at the Museum of Natural History where I volunteer. I originally didn't know this. I was actually trying to figure out, since it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I was trying to figure out early in the morning if the museum would be closed or not. There was no indication that it had, but it was insanely cold during travel, so I had to be sure. I got there, and not only was it open, but it was a huge event day, which I should have remembered. This time last year, was last year they held it on January the 15th, so it was a couple days difference, but slightly varies year to year. Anyway, huge event day. It's one of those where each department has out their display tables of samples from their collection, and staff and what volunteers show up that day will talk to the giant crowds of visitors who will come and talk a little about our collections, our research, and whatever else they want to talk about. I always have a blast. I just didn't know it was yesterday, so I plan to only go and help out in the fossil lab for a couple hours, which is about the usual time I'm there each time. I ended up staying 3 hours talking with visitors, which was fine. I always love it. It just took me by surprise this time. Usually doesn't. And 3 hours is on an event day like that. This one was Discovery Day. We also have Earth Science and Archaeology Day and dinosaur themed days. The last one was Dino Fest, which we threw for a couple of years, but our curator of vertebrate paleontology recently just left, so we have to make new arrangements. Anyway, but 3 hours on an event day like that was yesterday. Yesterday was Discovery Day. It's actually a small time frame for me to stay. I usually end up staying between 4 and 6 hours. Anyway, now, is this strange thing that happened well, I was going to say this morning, last night actually. So I came home after all that, and it was a lot of fun that day. I came home, and it wasn't about until an hour after I came home or something that I started having this intense pain in my foot. And sometimes when you're walking through snow or ice or just tough terrain, you can kind of slip and twist your foot a little. I'm sure it's happened to everyone at least once. It certainly happened to me a number of times, and your foot hurts for a while. Sometimes it's a serious sprain, sometimes it heals up in about a day. And so I started feeling that about an hour after I got home, and the funny thing was I couldn't remember at all a time where I actually sprained my foot or ankle or any part of my leg or foot that day, and it was very strange. Was still in a lot of pain this morning, so it was too difficult to go in today. So I did catch up on a lot of news and looking at things. I've tried to do a bit of writing, and so I've been writing up a script to talk about the March for Life event hosted this year by Ben Shapiro. It took place in Washington, D.C. on Friday the 19th. And then there was a confrontation between some Covington Catholic high school kids and some people who came there specifically to cause trouble. We will get into that story, the response from the video that was not only premature, that was put out by people who had not verified anything, not watched the video taken of the event in its entirety. There's a 2-hour video of what took place. People just ran with the story that it was the kids who were harassing these people, which is not the way it went at all. If the kids were the ones being harassed by first the Black Israelites group, Black Hebrew Israelites, I think they're called, which is a black supremacist group, which, yes, is a very real thing. If anything, white supremacy is actually very rare these days. But black and Muslim supremacy is seriously on the increase. Just gotta fix one thing here. Okay. So, but they ran with the story that it was the kids that were causing trouble, which is not how it went. If anything, there was not if anything, definitely there was, because I've been looking into the story. There was an unbelievably impressive amount of restraint on the side of the kids, the teenage boys from the Catholic high school. And of course, we've known this for some time. There's just a gigantic, unjustified hatred towards not only white people but Christianity from the left, from the leftist and socialist narratives going on. We saw this when they, a couple of years ago, attacked the Boy Scouts. And I think, as far as I've been able to find out, the Boy Scouts are in complete disarray. I don't think they're extinct, but after that, the attack on any religious groups intensified. And you understand exactly what's going on. It's an attack not only on religious groups solely, but it's an attack on anything that builds a stable Western Judeo-Christian society, culture, country. I've seen this over and over, and the scale of hate directed toward this way, completely unjustified. But we know the narrative that they're trying to accomplish, where they're trying to take down anything that builds the most free and most fair towards other people society that's ever been created, the Judeo-Christian West, and in particular, the Judeo-Christian America, because America is the country that refused, where the common population refused to disarm, and intelligently so. So, I will talk more about that. In the meantime, sorry, let's just see if this phone call is important. They're usually not. And yeah, that's not. Don't you just hate those interruptions? Okay. So,